Hey folks, JD here, and today we've got this, and it's with thanks to Banggood for sending me this. This is the Eachine E511S foldable drone, and this is the 5G 1080p version. Right, let's open this up and have a look. So as I said, Banggood have sent me this, so I'm very excited to have a little look at it. I've had my eye on this for quite a while. And because it did look as if it was going to be okay. I do like my Eachine quads anyway, and I'm hoping I'm going to like this one if it flies well and gives me what I need. So what have we got? Transmitter, got a spare battery. I think this is the 2 battery version, so therefore I should have another battery. Yes, I do, most certainly, right there. And actually it's the 3 battery version. There's another battery. Beautiful. Okay, well, first of all, let's look at the quad and then we'll come back to all the other gubbins in a bit. So as you can see, this looks quite nice. There's a couple of strange things about it. It's actually a lot lighter than I thought it would be. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot heavier. It felt a lot heavier in the box, but I guess that's just all the accessories and everything else with it. So if we have a look at the front, we have a 5G Wi-Fi capable camera at the front here. Come on, peel that off. And with the 1080p lens, that should give us quite nice videos and quite nice photos, hopefully. It is motorized by the feel of it, so therefore you are going to have to control that from your transmitter or from your app, and not by your fingers there. You've got 2 LEDs at the front here. These LEDs are bright white, obviously used for orientation. And if we work our way towards the back as well, you can see halfway we have our on button there. Now this quad is a foldable quadcopter, and you can pull the arms out like so. Now it does mimic the DJI Mavic, and I think it actually does a pretty good job at that. You've even got these little landing sprigs at the bottom there that just fold down and they click in place. Now, but more on that in a little bit. Next to this power button, you have the 4 LEDs there just to give you your indication of how full your battery is. As we work our way towards the back, obviously we have this nice little GPS logo, and then we have this little step at the back there. Now it does look as if these are actually functional fans, or functional outlets rather, to exhaust the heat off the electronics and off the battery, because the battery is just in here. Directly off the quadcopter, giving you, hopefully you and your electronics, a little bit of cool air there, so that it doesn't get as warm. Now if I take the battery out, this particular battery is a 7.4 volt 1200 milliamp hour. Its charge time is 120 minutes to 150 minutes, and it should give us 14 to 16 minutes flight time. And we've got our standard 3-pin connector there to charge it. Other than that, it looks pretty simple and pretty standard, pretty much like a battery. We have a nice little switch at the back here. That's how you get it out, just by pushing that down and then releasing the battery directly from the back. Now if I plug that back in, one thing I've noticed, it doesn't click in with a very noticeable click. It's very weak. So I don't think that's going to fall out mid-flight. But if you're expecting a nice click like you normally would get with a battery compartment, you're not going to get that with this. And then having a look at the bottom there, that should be where the optical flow sensor is, but there's no optical flow on this at all. That's just the battery that you can see inside there. If you keep looking, you can see the battery moving. Then we have our antenna either side here for the 5G capable Wi-Fi, and then we have our little micro SD writer there attached to our camera module at the front here. So if you do want to get those 1080p raw footage shots, then I would put a little SD card inside there just that you can record raw to that and not to the 720p down to your phone. Now all in all, it looks quite nice. It feels quite nice, although it does feel a little bit, the plastic feels a little bit thin. I was hoping to have it a bit sturdier. That being said, it's not the worst Mavic clone that I've seen. It's actually one of the better from aesthetics point of view. Now that brings me on to the motors. Now the motors themselves are 1020 cordless motors, so they are brushed, but as they are cordless, you should find that you get quite a lot of RPM out of these. The cordless motors normally in a standard 65 or 85 mil quad get up to about 50 to 60,000 RPM. So pretty much we are looking at quite a little bit of a grunt from these little cordless babies here. And then likewise you have your little landing sprigs here which just click into place. Now you can just push it together to release, or you can just pull it. I think I'm going to choose to squeeze and then pull, just so that I don't put too much pressure on this tiny little clip in the corner there, because if that snaps, this is going to be flying, you know, this is going to be floating around the place, and when you come to land, it may buckle underneath the quad, giving you an offset quadcopter. The division lines in between, the layer lines of where the top and the bottom body have been stuck on together, actually looks okay. It's not as invisible as you would hope, but they do look as if they're matched up pretty well, and I can't pry them open, so that's quite good. And if I squeeze them, there's no definite movement in the plastic, which is nice. There's definite movement in the top, as you can see, but that's probably because there's a little gap there where there isn't anything. That being said, I like the look of it. The look of it is quite nice. You've got these big bug eyes here for orientation. You've got your electronic camera there. You've got well, it actually looks pretty good. I quite like it. But what about weight? Does it come under the 250 gram mark, or does it go over? So let's pop this on. So the quadcopter's on there now, and with the battery in the back, this is your flying weight. That is 275 grams. So she's over the 250 gram limit for a lot of places. So if you do have a 250 gram limit in place, and if you aren't registering your quadcopters, then you can't fly this. There we go. So that's the quad. A couple of other features about it. It has got GPS, and it does have things such as return to home. It also obviously has a 5G 1080p camera. It has nice little features too, like follow me and waypoints. We'll be having a little look at those as well in separate videos. Also, it does circle. It has 3 speed modes, amongst many other things. That being said, I quite like it. I hope it's going to do quite well. I really do, because it is one of the better Mavic clones that are out there. Okay, let's leave that to one side. We've also, as this is the 3 battery version, thank you Banggood, then there are 2 extra batteries here as well, so I'll be charging up those babies. And then likewise we come on to the transmitter. Now we've seen this transmitter time and time again. Very light, very basic. That is pretty much all you need for this particular quadcopter. The resolution on the sticks isn't great. You know, it's your standard basic transmitter. It's enough to control it, but as for getting those really smooth shots, it might not be able to do that. But we'll give it a test and see exactly how far it goes. So let's look at some of these. It looks like GPS calibration to the top. You've got your camera movement up and down. You've got auto takeoff, auto landing at the bottom there. You've got emergency stop. Be careful when you push that, as your quad will just fall from the sky. Then we have speed modes at the top. We have, looks like orbit, as in circle mode. It looks like your take video at the top here, and then you have your photo at the bottom. Now, you know what I'm going to do, folks. What I do every time, and that is look at these, and these are fake. Yeah, look at that. There's nothing in there whatsoever. No cable at all. Fake antennas. So I'm going to be taking these off because they are pointless and not needed. There's one. There's the other. There we are, perfect. So there's no antennas inside there. The antennas are automatically inside the transmitter. Don't need them, get rid of them, they're pointless. Right then, we have 2 little buttons as well on the transmitters. We'll have a little look during the flight and find out what they do as well. As for your FPV for your phone, you fit your phone in the bottom there. Standard DJI-esque transmitter, that's where your phone goes, just in the bottom there. As you can see, you have... There we are. Oh, hang on, it says there what you should have. Press the stick for headless mode, and then press the stick this side for return to home. There we are. That's quite nifty to have those 2 little notifications down there. I quite like that. You don't normally get that. I like that. I think that's good. So the only downside of the transmitter for me is that there's no antennas through the actual fake antennas there. In the back here, let's see, do we get a screwdriver with this? Yes, we do get a screwdriver in the accessory bag, as well as we get a USB charger. We also get some spare... Oh, look at that. Spare gearing for your and washers for your motors. Also get 2 spare propellers, a load of screws. There we go, that's quite neat. So you get using the screwdriver that came with this. I'm going to unscrew this and open that. 4 AAA batteries there, folks, to power this transmitter. This transmitter does not allow USB charging of any sort, so you have got to ensure the batteries are fully charged or shop bought before you go any further. There we go. Okay, that should do the job quite nicely. And then we also get in the box, you get your propeller guards should you want to use them. These are really large for propeller guards. Look at the size of that. They're massive. I mean, it is a big, look, it is a big quad, but come on, they're huge. Right, okay, I'm not going to be using those, so I'm going to put those to one side. You also do get 2 very hefty manuals. One in a foreign language, and one which is in English, and it's probably multi-language as well. Yeah, multi-language as well. And this takes you through how to get your application, how to use the application more importantly, as well as how to use the quadcopter, what all the buttons are for, as well as the quadcopter itself, how to fly it. There we are, your QR codes there for Google Play and for iOS, so you can ensure you get the right app, so you can be flying no problem. And this app, if you just have a little look at it, we've seen this app time and time again. There we are, perfect. That looks as if it's going to be quite good. I hope it is, my friends. So the next thing to do is to stop me yammering on, and let's go and give this baby a little test. Right then, folks, let's get this sorted. So let's open this out, let's turn this on. I think I've put the battery, yeah, I got one battery inside of it. Once you turn it on, your LEDs, the front and back, are going to start flashing. Also, what else I noticed as well, when I had my hand on the main fuselage, I could feel the camera move. So let's turn on the transmitter. Oh, it auto binds, even better. I'm going to spread out these propellers, because I don't like to leave anything to chance in case they don't open out properly on motor spin up. So I'm not going to open up the antenna as you saw in the video, because I've ripped them off because they're fake. There's no point, and you're probably going to get a better connection just with the top showing. So we should automatically be bound yet to the Wi-Fi, which we are. Let me stand up for this. So there we are, we're bound to the Wi-Fi, and then if we open up the app, which is Eachine GPS, hopefully if I click play, we should get some FPV relay back. There we go. Has drone magnometer been calibrated? Nope. So I'm gonna, there we are, let's calibrate this. So pick it up, has to be 1 meter above the ground, and then you can start to spin it. We're keeping one weather eye, there we are. That's beeped. So then turn it over and then spin the opposite way. That's beeped. Oh, is calibration successful? Yes, it is. Perfect. Back on, there we go. GPS signal search, please wait. So when it's doing that, I'm just going to start recording my screen. So a couple of things to notice about this now, what I've done today, while we're just waiting for satellites to, still no satellites. Okay, we're just going to leave that do its thing. I've got a class 10 SD card in here, 64 gig class 10. I'm going to see exactly how that does. I couldn't find anything smaller, unfortunately, so I hope a lot of these toy grades only allow up to 32 gig. So I'm hoping that this will actually allow 64. If it doesn't record, if we don't get any raw footage, then it's because the SD card I've got inside isn't compatible. But still, we're going to give it a shot. So up to 7 satellites for this particular quadcopter before you're able to take off. So now we've got 6. We've got 7 now. It's still saying GPS signal search, please wait. There we are, 8. There we are, GPS signal is normal. Oh, so the manual's wrong then. It says 7 in the manual and it says 8 there, and GPS signal is normal, ready to take off. So I'm just going to give it an extra minute. Yeah, they are. Beautiful, all right. Well, that's done. Let's start the motor by pulling out both the sticks. And then 1 key takeoff. Okay. So as you can see, ooh, that's very loud. That is very loud. And I haven't purposefully, before anybody says you forgot to pull down the little landing sprigs, I purposefully haven't done it. So let's give it 2 seconds. That actually looks pretty stable. Look at that. It's a little bit twitchy. Those cordless motors are really banging about. Look at that. Really is so loud. Okay, let's start some video. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to click and hold for some video. Yeah, video has been illuminated now. I've used I've used the shoulder button in order to get the video to actually start to record. So I'm going to keep an eye on it and just see how it does. But it is ridiculously loud. This thing really is so loud. But that's not really the end of the world. It is what it is. It's a cordless motor. I'm used to brushless at the, these days, being so nice and so quiet. Okay, so there we go. What signal? What speed are we in? That was speed mode 1. Wow, that. Did you see how aggressive the pitch changes and the angle of attack every time you go up a speed? So if I just bring her back around to me, watch this now, speed mode 2, bang, straight down. That's okay, she's flying about quite nice. And then speed mode 3, she bangs about again. Okay, for the purpose of this, I'm going to keep her in speed mode 1. Very aggressive, pitching back. Very aggressive. Okay, so what I'm going to do, it's very annoying. One factor is very annoying with this, and I don't know if it's something I can change. Maybe I'll have to have a little look. Oh, there we are. Well, the factor that was annoying was that it said GPS ready to take off. I clicked the screen once and that disappeared. So clearly, you can click the screen and that disappears, so you don't have a great big bar across the screen. That's no problem. Let's try altering this this camera then. Yeah, you can do that. You can alter that, no problem. And it's actually, its angle switches right underneath it. That's not too bad. And then you can, just by a single click, you can alter it back up. But obviously, as you can see, that lens isn't very reactive. As I moved it up, the camera didn't even alter any of its any of its light balance. So what I'm seeing here on this small phone is that all the sky is just a total whiteout. I'm not seeing any. Oh, actually, I'm seeing a bit of. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of difference. Let's take her up a little bit higher. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of difference, a bit of change over here. So it is picking up. The camera is picking up slightly the different changes. Okay, let's try. As this is 5G, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and see how far we get with signal. So distance is 15 meters now. So let's take her out even further and let's see how far we go. And we're going to try return to home and see exactly how that does. It is a click of the right analog stick initiates return to home. What are we at now? 52 meters, still full FPV. She is, I don't know whether it's my finger on the stick or whatever, but she does seem to be going over to the left a bit. I think it might be my finger. 78, 80 meters, still full FPV. 90 meters, oh, little bit of a break up there, bit of lag. 100 meters, still full FPV. 110 meters, still full FPV. 118, still full FPV. Oh, and then nothing. Right, so I can see the red LED. Oh, it's just refreshed. So we're at 127 meters. I'm going to click for automatic return to home. Do not operate other functions, returning aircraft. So I can see it going up. I can see it going up. It's now halted at an altitude. It's turning round. And now it's, there we are, forward pitch, and it's coming back really aggressively. Wow, those LEDs are super bright. The white are flashing at the front and I can see them from 127 meters. That's quite impressive. I don't remember the last time I actually saw an LED of a quadcopter from that far away. There she is. Not been operated, just standard return to home. Right, okay, now she's stopped. Now this is where normally they stop a couple of feet out, and then what they do, exactly like that, exactly as I'm explaining, they stop a couple of feet out, then they crawl back to their location, and then they just land. So we can see where we are here. We're down to 60% battery, so I'm not going to bring her down. She should automatically start to descend, which is what she has done. So we know where she started off. She started off from the helipad, and we're going to see where she ends up. And hopefully before this gentleman to my right comes down the field. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's really not too bad. It looks like it's actually pretty good. Come on, down the rest of the way. Come on, down the rest of the way. There we are. Oh, come on. Oh, that's a little bit nasty. But still, Oh, there we are. And automatic return to home beeps just stop. So that's where she landed. That's where she took off from. Approximately 2 foot. Yeah, a little bit less than that, but fair. That's okay. That's not too bad. Right, there's a gentleman to my right, so I'm not going to take this back up yet until the area is clear. So I'll be back with you very, very shortly. All right, so we were up at out at 124 meters, and she came back, and she landed within about a foot and 3/4. I did say 2 feet. It's more like a foot and 3/4. To be fair, that's actually pretty good from a toy grade quad. I know this has got GPS, but there's a few very toy sort of features about it, like the cordless motors, that really did make me think, you know what, I don't think she's going to be that good. But obviously her calibration and her GPS module isn't actually too bad, to the point where she can come back, hone in, and there isn't an issue. Now, Mr. Seagull, what are you going to do? Are you just going to... Yeah, there we are, good. So yeah, 124 meters. I had a bit of a break up at about 115, and then I stopped, and then it refreshed, and then didn't have any issue there, and it carried on, and I carried on going to 124, and that was all right. You know, altitude now, what am I? I'm going to push it a little bit. Altitude up at 16 meters, and I'm going to keep on going. Distance 108. See if we can get further than that 124. I've got a bit more trust in that return to home function, so therefore I'm going to see if I can take her out now. 130. Still got full FPV. Oh, she's moving about a lot. She just got battered about there, and we don't have any wind here today. 150 meters. 156. There we are, and now she's lost FPV at 163. So there we are. Okay, and I'm getting close as well to her RC range, to her remote control range. I mean, you can see exactly how far I'm out from the video, but her remote control range is between 200 and 400, 200 to 300 meters, and I was at 164, 170 meters there. And yeah, I don't want to push her any more than that. I'm actually really quite happy with that, to be fair. I don't want to take her any further out than that, because obviously, as you can see, we ran out of field. We've just got the clearing in front of us, and I haven't taken any quads apart from one, only my spark through that clearing. There we are. So once again, coming back, so I'm going to stand out of the way. Not that I think it's going to come down and kill me, mind you, but at the same time, there we are. I just want to be out of the picture a bit. So once again, it just came in and it stopped, and now it's just descending quite nicely. So right, that's okay. I quite like that, you know. Is it descending? No, it's up at 20.7 meters. That's its return altitude. That's quite nice, because I was lower than that. I was at 16 meters. And here it comes. So is it going to be the same foot and 3/4 away? Looks as if it's slightly more this time. Oh, is it going to land on my bag? Yes, it is. I'll never learn with that thing. So last time it landed here, just in front there, or kind of here, sorry. So 2 foot away, foot and 3/4, 2 foot away. Now it's landing a little bit over a bit. Oh, that's such a harsh landing. But it has landed, and that's okay. Let's just move everything out of the way. So it landed here. So that again was about a foot and 3/4 away. So again, more, or well, to be fair, I'm going to call it accurate. I really am, because it didn't land over there. It didn't land over there. It was within a foot, and it was within 2 foot of its takeoff area. So to be fair, folks, I'm just going to call that, and I'm going to say that is pretty accurate, because I think it is. Right, let's take back up. Let's have a look at some of these pictures then. So I'm going to stop video recording, but keep my screen recording. And hopefully we've got some raw footage, I'm hoping. So let's bring this down a bit. Let's move this slowly out towards me. Very slowly, because its movements are quite erratic. There we go. If I stop her there, just get her a little way from the starting point, and let's try some of these photos. So, second shoulder button, and I'm going to click. Oh, it has picked up on it. That's good. So, and again, and again, and I'm going to keep on walking. Yeah, you're going to see my back, but there we go. That's not too bad. And as long as you're as long as you're quite high up, its stability is really remarkable. I mean, we're almost through the first battery here at 24%. I'm going to see whether I can get anything else out of her. I mean, we've got circle mode, but I want to do that on its own video, so I want to actually look at that properly and not race towards it before the battery dies. But yeah, I think as a solo flyer, this thing is actually pretty good. Its movements are erratic. You have got to be quite gentle with the sticks in order to get that quite nice slow movement. I do believe as well that it's a little bit... It doesn't feel heavy in the air. I mean, it's 280 grams, which isn't that light particularly. And I'm at what? I'm at like just over half throttle response, and it's moving really nicely. And I'm just using yaw to move her, and just keeping my finger. That's the battery warning. Just keeping my finger at the same level on the right analog stick. And actually, she's moving pretty well, and the wind is starting to pick up here. Only a little bit, so we went from no wind to, you know, a gentle 2-mile-an-hour breeze. But okay, that's not too bad. Right, so all in all, yeah, I quite like this. I think this is probably one of the better DJI Mavic clones. I hate using that, because even though the body looks like it, that's pretty much as it, you know, as far as it's going to go. And off. There we go. Yeah, you know what, I'm really quite taken with that. I really am. Motors aren't warm at all. They're really nice and cool. Quadcopter, let's turn her off. Yeah, really quite nice. Now I stopped the video recording anyway, so hopefully we've got something on the SD card. All the electronics on the underside. Oh, it's a little bit warm here in the middle, but other than that, it's cool to touch. The battery itself is quite warm in the middle bit here, and the air vents are quite warm, so that does show you, yeah, the air vents do work, because I can see the electronics through the vents. So okay, that shows you that it works. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, the camera moving. Everything so far with this from a basic feature set worked. So orientation lights, no problem. Camera, no problem. Movement up and down, no problem. Video and photo, I'm hoping, no problem, but I'm gonna have to check in the edit. The actual movement of the quads, fine, no problem at all. But as I said, you have got to be nice and gentle. If you are very ham-fisted with it, you are going to notice that its responses are very, very twitchy, and its angle of attack is really quite far. Speed mode 2 and 3, you can see definite speed increases over the 3 speed modes. In all of this video, I was in speed mode 1. Apart from at the beginning where I tested the 3 of them, obviously, but then I put it back into speed mode 1. Other than that, I think she's good. A total distance, I think it was 174 meters, I believe, 180 meters, and return to home function, came back and landed her there. That was the second attempt, and on the first attempt it was 124 meters, although I did lose FPV relay at about 110, 115, and she landed here. At both times it was within 2 foot of the landing pad, so that in itself is not too bad. I consider that to be pretty damn accurate. I mean, I've had GPS quadcopters land here, land there, land behind me, you know, so it wasn't that erratic. It was actually pretty good. Right, what's happening in the next video? Well, the next video we're going to look at some of the features and functions. The first one we're going to look at circle, so please join me then, folks. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.